should talk. I reached Tekken God today. Ironically, I said to myself, okay, let me reach Tekken God today. And I had one of those, you know, those days where you're just like, I'm doing it today. If it takes 1 hour, great. If it takes 2 hours, great. If it takes 4 hours, great. And I was just playing non-stop. And I reached Tekken God, and it was miserable. And I got thoughts. It wasn't worth it. It was not worth it. It wasn't worth it. This game is cheeks. This game is cheeks. And like, this game is cheeks, but like, I had to come back to really realize if and how the game was cheeks. Because obviously it was season 2, and I kind of wrote it off. In fact, to be honest, I wrote off Tekken pretty much with the release of Clive. I didn't really give Tekken an honest chance at all. I didn't give Tekken an honest chance. I was like, let me come back. Let me act like I don't know what Tekken is. Let me really try and get into it. Stop bitching, just try and get into it. And I got into it with Xiaou, a character who I don't think is particularly strong. But I think is super interesting and highlights a lot of the things I love about Tekken. He exploits the things that I think are really exploitable in a 3D fighting game, which actually most characters in this game don't. Most characters play this game very 2D, which is very frustrating, and force you to play very 2D because of their sort of tracking, right? And yeah, playing Xiaou, got Tekken God, and I was like, this sucks. And all the while, I have a bunch of reasons. So this isn't really the YouTube video, I don't think anyway. This is the video before the video. This is me talking to you guys on stream and figuring stuff out. I think the thing that I really want to explore though is what is the meta? What is the meta of Tekken 8? Right? What is the meta? What makes a top tier character a top tier character? Don't name characters. Let's actually think about the traits that make a character top tier in this game and why. Plus frames, high reward, low risk. Yeah. Safe or plus on block homing moves or deceptive homing moves. Alright, yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, I agree. Again, that's not a leading question. I'm not like, oh, I'm setting you up like a teacher in class. I genuinely want to know what you think. Whoever can kill you in the least interactions is strongest. That's another one I actually hate. Is real talk. I was thinking about that. Combo damage in this game is a real thing. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I always kind of shit on combos. I'm like, whatever. This combo does 50 damage, it's enough. And I'm realizing, oh no. Combo damage is like where it's at. You need to be able to. Here's the irony. Tekken 8 is so unstable, but the way you win is to play the least amount of Tekken humanly possible. Right? So you want a character who can kill in one combo, maybe 2, ideally, right? So that you don't have to play much Tekken, so you can just take away most health without Tekken. You want to have a character who can have, like you said, have plus frames, and like can force the opponent to have to defend, so you don't have to play Tekken, right? Like this, the Tekken in this game is broken. Like that's so crazy, right? And so even if you're enjoying it, what people are enjoying isn't really the Tekken. The Tekken aspect of this game is done, and it's carried by like the non-Tekken element. Like so much of very often the most powerful characters can turn Tekken into an RPG. If you ever played the old like Final Fantasy games where it's like you have like options on the menu: attack, magic, item, right? Draw, and it's like, okay, fucking Lars hit you with Den 3. Here are your 3 options, right? Like you need to be able to turn into like a fucking quick time event. And yeah, and I part of me thought, well, that's just because I'm a scrub, right? And like, you know, I don't really know what's going on. And season 2 changed. Let me learn it. Let me learn what's going on. And obviously, make no mistake, I'm sure there's people watching this being like, oh, whatever, you fucking Tekken God is not that high rank. It's like, you're right, it's not the highest rank, but at the same time, it's not the lowest rank either. Like it's enough data to be able to start making like statements about the balance of the game and the nature of all the characters you're playing against, right? And you just get the sense of a lot of the characters that I'm losing to, or a lot of the characters who, even if I win, who I feel like, wow, I'm fighting an uphill battle, are characters who are just able to just like force you to sit their exam. They just force you to sit their exam, right? And there have always been characters like this in Tekken. There's always been characters like this in Tekken. But typically, because defense was so strong, if you knew the answer to their exam, you could murder them. You could fucking murder them, right? If you knew the answer. Whereas now, having the right answer to people's exam just earns you the right to play neutral again. At which point, they just make you sit another exam. This game is miserable. This game is miserable a lot of the time. unless you're playing a character who is able to just force the opponent to take the exam. I'd also say forward advancing plus on block move that goes into stance is mad good in this game. Superman, right? Because it's a combination of things. Back in Tekken 7, I actually made a video complaining about, well, not complaining, but pointing out that one of the best things you can have in Tekken is what I call, you know what? We're not doing a lobby. We're not doing a lobby. No one's coming. I want to go in training mode. So back in Tekken 7, I remember pointing out that one of the best moves you can have is a move like this, right? That you can just throw out. Because it's safe on block, right? If it hits, you're rewarded. And if it's blocked, who cares? You're back in neutral. And at higher levels of Tekken, when people are no longer throwing out risky dumb shit all the time, when you're doing the fucking neutral dance, having a move that you can just go bat or bang, right, is really valuable. Especially if it's a counter hit launcher. Jin infamously had, was it forward 4? Right, forward 4, right? And if this move hits counter hit, like, you just fucking, you get the combo, right? Right? So is this move that you can just sort of throw out speculatively, and if it works, awesome. And if it doesn't, whatever, you don't really lost. And more characters have moves like this, right? More and more characters have moves like this. So if we're going to create a top tier character, stage 1, what move do you have in neutral that you can throw out fairly indiscriminately that is high reward on hit, right? High reward on hit and low risk on block. So yeah, step 1 in making our top tier character, you want a character that you want a move that you can just throw out in neutral and control and get massive reward, right? And so the mission was all having like their demon pull, well not all of them, but the demon pull has been a big problem. And that was true in season 1. Like a lot of these like heat engaging forward twos were just pissing me off. Super powerful. So again, if you're making a top tier character, you want to look at what neutral tool that they have when they're doing the neutral dance, they can throw out, and if it lands, right, I'm winning, and if it's blocked, I ain't lost shit, right? That's one thing. But one of the things you guys are mentioning is also like plus frames, and bro, in fact, you know what? This isn't just going to be a Tekken video, this is going to be a VF video, right? Because I played some VF after I played Tekken, and bro, on one hand, it's bad to compare two different games, but the philosophy between them is so fucking crazy. Because in Virtua Fighter, like, plus frames on block are like, for both. Plus frames on block are so fucking rare. Like, you can tell the designers are like, why should you be plus on block? If we're going to give you a plus on, every character maybe has 1 or 2 maximum plus on block moves. And if they're plus on block, you typically have to do something to get there, right? Like, they are, how do I put this? The devs treat plus on block moves with suspicion, right? And it's but in this game, they're just sprinkled all over the place. Plus on block moves all over the place. And that decision, more than any one character, forget, we're not talking about characters right now. We're talking about the meta. And you can step at -9 in VR, exactly. But that's a separate thing. But you're right. But like, again, we're not talking about specific characters, we're talking about the meta, right? You would want the designers of Tekken, ideally, to go back to that idea that plus frames on block are rude, are taboo. Don't do it unless there is a major drawback. And I don't think they're going to do that, right? Because clearly this is their design direction. And even though they're reining stuff back in, I don't think they're ever going to do that, right? And here's the thing, right? Britbro, you said that like you could step in VF, step at -9 in VF. Here's the funny thing, right? And this is what I'm realizing is sort of the degradation of Tekken over time. There was a time where even in Tekken, if you were -8, -7, -6, you could step quite well too. It was really Tekken 7 that really reined it in, right? And so, even though Tekken has perhaps always been generous with the plus frames, the impact of them was minimal and has grown stronger and stronger. So basically, the power of plus frames is going stronger and stronger. And rather than the Tekken team being like, okay, so therefore we need to be more judicious as to where we apply them, they've gone crazy and just handed them to everyone. And it's really, when you're looking at tier characters, and again, people are going to accuse me of downplaying, but like, I noticed that it's so much easier to play Leo than Xiaou for a variety of reasons. But the main one, I think, is just because with Leo, I can just force plus him. I can just force, like, The more plus frames I can force on you, the less Tekken I have to play. Does that make sense? Right? I think that's how I want to summarize it. If I can force plus frames on you, +5, +6, +5, +8, I don't really have to play Tekken. You have to make a bunch of choices, right? We're now just playing the guessing game. And yeah, I know I said this at the beginning, but like, so much of this game is just about trying to reduce the amount of Tekken you have to play. When I was playing Xiaou and I was struggling to get it to God, I remember thinking to myself, this character, the real issue why this character is not meta and will never be meta is because she has to play too much Tekken. The last player that I'm fighting against doesn't actually have to play that much Tekken. The last player can sit on this side, he can just fucking... And again, this isn't to say that if you play Lars, you're bad or whatever. You can play the most broken character in this game and still be amazing, right? Like, that's not the issue. I'm not criticizing players. Where is Lars?
Get ready for the next battle.
Lars' ability to force his will is fucking crazy, right? What's how do I right, like he's here 4.1. What? Right? This was not Tekken. Like, look what's happening on your screen. Right? Okay? 4.7. Okay, 4.7. Hold on. Let's go 4.6. Okay, so 4.6. Got it. Cool. All right. So we have to be 4.3. There we go. All right, cool. So think about your position as a defender, right? I'm fighting against Lars. Okay? I'm fighting against Lars, and we're this far away. My favorite part of Tekken, in fact, my favorite part of most fighting games is the neutral dance, right? Like the interesting neutral dance, right? And I want us to have interesting choices, right? But when I'm fighting against Lars, even though I'm technically neutral, I'm low-key kind of minus, right? Because he has bombs he can throw out. He has things he can do to fucking blow me up. And ideally, if I'm going to compete with Lars, I need to also have moves that I can throw out at this range or similar and put him in tough situations. Now, if you're going to have a move like this or a sequence like this, right, you would think that, okay, well, the mix you get on block must be tracked, right? Okay, but like, that sequence I just showed you, he's +5. He's +5, bro. And it's like, okay, well then step it, but you can't. It's a homie move. And again, I know there's people watching this in chat. This has been here since season 1, and I know it's been here since season 1. I know it's not new. But the thing is, I left cynically, and I came back with like new eyes, right? And I'm trying to work out, like, because some people have been like, Tekken's fixed, or they've made great progress, and I'm like, no, I truly feel that we are just back to where we were in season 1, where there are certain. If you are playing a tier character, let's say a tier character, and your opponent is playing an A tier character, you can have fun. The second you're playing against a character who's a tier above you, this game feels like a nightmare. No fighting game is ever balanced. But if the core system that you're moving through is balanced enough, then player skill will overcome the character balance greatly, right? Like, for example, Austin Ash is so much better than me at Tekken that he can pick any character in the game and beat me with it, right? So I'm not being like, oh, it's just character choice that matters. No. Skill, like, obviously player skill matters, right? The problem is that the ratio of skill to character is higher now than I think it's ever been, which is why, how do I put this? I don't have to worry about Austin Ash because I don't play him, but I do have to worry about other people who are like me, who have perhaps been playing Tekken for years. They have a lot of knowledge, not all the knowledge. So oftentimes the people I'm playing with have the similar amount of Tekken knowledge to me, right? And at that point, character strength becomes really clear. Like, I was able to get Kazuya, for example, to Tekken King, right? With minimal effort. And the reason for that is because I actually have quite a bit of Tekken knowledge. So I was able to beat that caliber of player. But once I got to gold ranks, right? I couldn't do that with Kazuya. Because now I'm dealing with people who are also very knowledgeable about Tekken, also know what's happening. So now, the differences in characters really reveal themselves at Tekken, I think, like Tekken King, Tekken Emperor. You really start to see the difference in skill. Because the gap between players, at least a lot of the players who have made it this far, is now a lot shorter. So now, the incremental advantage of each character makes a massive deal. I remember a while ago, there's a viewer called I Hate Wasps, and I kind of came up. We were playing Ling at the time. We were both learning Ling at the time. And I remember saying to him, like, look, I have a theory. It's not a fact, it's a theory about how Tekken works, right? And my hunch is this: the winner of any round, more often than not, is going to be the player who can make the opponent guess more. That's simple. That seemed like a reductive thing, but that's how it seemed to me. And so, characters who can force you to guess from further away, with less risk and more coverage, are going to do better than characters who can't. And so, assuming that two players somehow have the exact same skill and the exact same knowledge, but one is playing a character who is able to enforce mix from further away and safer, that player is going to win. And so the meta in Tekken, I'm struggling to articulate my thoughts, but yeah, character strength has never been more important. It's never been more important. And I often use like card game analogies. And like, if you've ever played a card game competitively, you know that like being skilled at the card game is important. But there's a certain point where just a deck is better than another deck, or a deck archetype is just superior to another one. Because at the end of the day, it's maths. At the end of the day, it is still math, right? And so it's like, no, this deck is just able to accrue so much more advantage, so much more quickly. It's able to amass a board state so much more quickly, do so much damage so much more quickly, that it doesn't actually matter if we are equally skilled. Because your deck is just better than mine. It's just better than mine. And I know it makes you sound salty, because you're like, oh, you're just, it kind of goes against the spirit of the fighting game ethos of just like, just adapt, get better. But like, truly, the character strength in this game is so much more important, and you really feel it. And again, as someone who's been playing multiple characters now, it really is night and day. Like, certain characters are working harder than others, like significantly harder. And again, I know other people are being like, oh, whatever, it goes without saying. But the thing is, the reason why it's a revelation to me is because on some level, it's always been the case. There have always been characters who are better than others, but the movement engine and the system was such that you had enough player expression and enough skill expression that you could overcome those differences. Whereas now, I think it's harder than fucking ever. Character strength dominates in a way that I don't think it ever has before. I ranked up today from TK, and I got today in the middle of TE. Good shit, man. Good shit, man. It's just, yeah. And I don't like that. Because in an ideal fighting game, Chad, be honest, would Lars carry me to Tekken God in a month? No, not in a month. It'll take you longer. Because you have to understand, Lars isn't the only player like this. You'll still have to deal with other Lars players. You understand? You still have to deal with the Hurang player. Yeah, I mean, you still have to deal with the Leo player. That's the thing. So it'll carry you offensively, but you'll still have to deal with everyone else's offense. Yeah, in an ideal fighting game, skill expression would be the core system would be such that it doesn't matter what character you pick, like, because mastery of the system will get you through. Whereas in Tekken, I truly do feel there is some of that. Like I said, Alton Ash is going to beat me with any character, but character strength plays such a big role in this that, in a way that it hasn't before. And he's only really coming back in season 2 that really made me realize that. Also, shout out to Tricky. How you doing, girl? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, don't worry, Tricky. I'm going to boot up a Virtua Fighter in a bit to compare and contrast. Because I also think that Virtua Fighter shows how stance offense should be done. And I remember once, actually, Tricky, funny that you're here, I remember watching your stream, and I remember you saying that, like, man, you guys are just too liberal with your plus on block. And I did not know, because I didn't play VF at the time. And after playing VF, I'm like, yeah, you're right. These Tekken boys are too liberal with their plus on block shit. Tricky, look at what I'm about to show you. Look at this shit. Where am I? I'm range 4.2. Okay? What? Why am I +5, bro? How? How, bro? spoiled with plus, but not just spoiled with plus, like ruined. Because the thing is, the irony is in Virtua Fighter, like even if you're plus, you're not. The implications of plus frames aren't as great in Virtua Fighter because you can step effectively, right? So it's like, I mean, plus frames are still useful, but like in this game, plus frames are so deadly. So you would think the developers would be like, okay, no, we need to be very judicious as to where we apply them. No, they're just like, fuck it. Why not? It's so crazy. And I know I don't want Lars players thinking I'm picking on them. I'm not picking on them. Other characters do this too. In fact, some characters probably even do it worse. Like, I think Lars is just the most dramatic example of this. Tekken has a button with little to no consequences. Yeah. Plus just means you have some more frame options to encourage buttons. Yeah. Nah, pick on them niggas. Nah, I'm not gonna. Because this game's a mess. I don't really want to pick them. Part of the reason I had that beef with the buff guys is because I'm like, because I think it's wrong to shit on players of characters specifically because it's a Tekken problem. It's not a character problem. It's a Tekken problem. The system is busted, and then certain characters are able to exploit their busted, broken system better than others, right? It's not Lars. Ironically, Lars is not the issue. Lars is the symptom of the issue, right? That's what I'm trying to get at, right? Because in an ideal world, I mean, like I said, there's always going to be certain characters stronger than others. But ideally, your system would be such that it doesn't matter if your character's better than mine, because my Tekken is better than yours. It's just a nightmare. He has lightning on, so I just, yeah, it's killing me, bro. It's killing me. It's killing me. And like, yeah. Playing Xiaou, coming back, playing Xiaou, Tekken God, and just, I generally felt like I had to play more Tekken than other people. And I understand, by the way, shout out to the casual player, I understand why casual players get so pissed. I think casual is similar. I think, for all my hate of casual, and make no mistake, you know I hate casual, I think because casual is designed to not be able to sustain plus frames, he gets plus frames, right? And then he has to make a guess, and if he's wrong, he then has to play neutral. So he's constantly giving up his turn. He does his thing, he's up his turn. He gets up his turn, he does his thing, he's up his turn. So Kazuya has to win neutral more often than a lot of characters. A lot of characters, right? Which is why they feel so frustrated. And the point that I remember trying to make to the buff guys, like, it's not just Kazuya. It's not just Kazuya. There's a lot of characters. And it might not feel that way because you're constantly fighting against the characters who can just, you know, the Larses, the Laws, the Season 2 Leos, the whoever, right? But there's a lot of characters like that. And there are kind of only two ways forward, I guess. Way forward one would be to reduce the amount and the strength of plus frames across the board. Or the direction that they've gone in, where make everyone able to just shit out plus frames, right? Right? Do you get what I'm saying? That those to me seem like the only way to approach anything resembling balance. And I'm back to where I was at the end of season 1, where I'm like, what are they going to do? Are they going to rein in the plus frames, or are they going to make more characters have access to them? What are they going to do? Because a lot of this is like, how would you even go about fixing this? Let's say you make this 0 on block. Well, now what? Right? And now this mix is useless, right? You've given it to him now, right? Season 3 will save us, don't worry. I'm just trying to speculate that if we assumed that season 3 was going to save us, what would that even look like at this point? I don't know. I don't know. What does that look like? And again, I'll be honest with you, when I came back, I saw so many changes to season 2 that I was like, hey, maybe season 2 is not a mess. And then I got to Tekken King, Tekken Emperor, and I was like, oh no, it still isn't it. It still isn't it. This game is the same way it was in season 1. But there are just certain matchups in this game that are fucking disgusting, where you just have to play way more Tekken than your opponent. Or you just pick up one of those characters where you have to play less Tekken. I remember the joke that I made, it has to be Tekken 9. Yeah, I think you're right, Tricky. It has to be Tekken 9. And I remember the joke that I made when I was playing Feng. I don't even remember this, where I was like, when I'm playing Leo, this is season 1, I feel like I have to learn the matchup. But when I'm playing Feng, you have to learn the matchup, right? I don't need to know the matchup. I'm playing Feng, right? I'm playing Feng. I don't need to know the matchup. You need to know the matchup. Because I'm going to do shit. And I'm gonna create sequences. And if you don't know the answers to these sequences, you're going to die. If you push the button at the wrong time, you're going to die. And there are certain characters you can just do that. And if your character can't, you're going to lose to a lot of people. You're going to lose to every character who can do that, unless you are sufficiently more skilled than your opponent, right? Which is why, like, you know, when people say that you can get any character to GOD, that's true. You absolutely can get any character to GOD. But certain characters would require you, how do I put this? I mean, long story short, it's easier for certain characters than others. And the amount of defensive knowledge you need increases the fewer easy plus frames you have, right? This is like my observation, and I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I remember I was playing this one match against this Horang player, and I remember he would just do this situation to me where he's like +6, and I would be like, I'd step, and then he'd do that low, that tracking low, and he's plus again, and I'd step again, and then do the tracking low, and I'm like, I'm like, fuck! The developers have said no, simply guess mid or low. But even if I do guess between the mid or low, the reward I get is nothing compared to the penalty I will face if I'm wrong. It's like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. And so on one hand, a part of me wants to be like, hey, just play the character you like the most. But like your experience is so different depending on the character you play, bro. Blackheart can get everyone to GOD. Yeah, exactly. But Blackheart's the best example of this. Why can he get every character to GOD? Right? Why can he get every character to GOD? He can do that because he has that encyclopedic defensive knowledge. So it doesn't matter what character he's playing, right? He is sufficiently better at Tekken such that he can just like it doesn't matter who he picks up. He can pick up any character and use suboptimal combos because his defense will get him there. And so technically, dear viewer, you could do that too if you're willing to do the work. Here's the question though. Even if you do that, right, and you become sufficiently skilled, you become more skilled than 90% of the player base, what happens when you then meet the other 10% who are also at your level? Who's going to win? The winner will be the character who has the player who has the best character. So you still face the same problem, just with a smaller pool of people. You get what I'm saying? It's imbalanced all the way up. And so, and what do you do in the meantime when you're trying to acquire that skill? You just suffer. Let's say, again, I use my Tekken IQ analogy, right? Let's say Tekken IQ goes from 0 to 10. 10 is like you know everything. 0, you know nothing. If I have a Tekken IQ of 5, on my grind to Tekken IQ 10, I'm going to have to fight a bunch of people who are 5, 6, 7. And so there's something very frustrating about fighting someone who has the same Tekken IQ as me, but just dying. Because, like, they're able to just force their will in a way that I can't on them. That's very frustrating. And of course, if my Tekken IQ was 9, I could get past that. But like, I'm not there yet. It's going to take me a while to get there. So what am I going to do? Just suffer? The intermediate phase in this game is nasty. Nastier than it has ever been. The problem is never getting rid. It's never getting rid of. It's never getting rid of. And then what's even more frustrating is that, you know, I've been watching EWC, and I'll be honest, when I watch the high level game, I don't find myself wanting to go there. I'm just keeping it real. I don't find myself being like, I want to do that. Damn, that was great, Olsan. I want to do that. I respect the men. I respect their skill. Don't get me wrong. I respect skill in whenever I see it, right? But like, I don't look. It doesn't inspire me to be like, damn, I want to do that. So why do it? It's just not. I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it. You know, I'd be playing Xiaou, and there'd be opportunities. Like let's say a character would do something that is like mid-low. It's launch punishable, and I don't launch it, right? And I'll be like, oh, that sucks. If I'm Leo, I'm like, oh, that sucks. But like if I'm Xiaou, I'm like, oh, I'm dead, right? Because you get fewer opportunities. You like with Leo, it's like if I miss a punch, whatever. Down one, back one for I'll mix to death, right? But like you have to be so right with certain characters because your opportunities are fewer and far between. You have to win neutral, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Oh my god. Oh, man, oh no. Oh my god. Oh. Damn it. Okay, and Oki, and I still got heat. Okay. Alright, what you doing? What you doing? Bro, what you doing? Honest question, what you doing, bro? What you doing? Everyone in the chat. I'm not going any further. I need an answer from everyone. What you doing here? I'm -5, bro. I'm -5 against Brian. Back to the wall. $500,000 on the line. What you doing? Honest question, bro. Let's examine the choice. What are you doing? Answer the question. What are you doing here? I want to hear it. I want to hear it, bro. You're sidestepping. I'm guessing you're sidestepping, praying. Cool. Duck. Honest is ducking. 80 is stepping. I'm guessing away from the wall. Cool. Holding the back button. Bruv, I'm with you. I think I'm holding the back button. No, I think I'm not. Here, I'm holding the back button. Jab into RA. Oh, actually, I was laughing, but actually, no, that's not the worst idea. Actually, I say that back. That is the worst idea. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. I was thinking like, wait, you can't combo into that. That's the dumbest thing. All right, let's see. He's holding the back button. All right. Okay. Yeah, he's holding that. Activate heat. Okay. What are you doing? Everyone, what are you doing? You're Brian now. You're about to be minus what? What are you about to be? I don't even know what it is after this. What's the frame rate after this? -6? What are you doing here? Talk to me, boys. What are you doing? Unplugging? Alright, cool. On the big stage? I'm unplugging nothing. What are you doing here, boys? You're about to be minus whatever against Dragonov. Half million on the line. Both of you are one combo away from dead. Now I'm hitting 1+4 as I'm a Yoshi player. Now you understand why I'm like, there are so many times where you're put in situations like this. I'm like, I need to have some fucked up option. That's that. I'm standing these, prepared to eat down too. Alright, cool. Standing. Down blocking. Cool. Yeah. But you understand why I'm like, okay, let me try Xiaou, let me try Asuka, let me try. I need a character who has options in this situation. Because it can't just be that I'm just gonna hold it. It can't be. At least not for me. While waiting for down forward one, I'll stop that damn fear guest throw. Okay. Okay, what are you doing? Alright, cool. I wonder if the step would have caught you. Or if the down forward one would have caught the step. Probably the step block. Back to niche. Oh! What are you doing? I think you're like -6 here, right? Or some shit? What are you doing? Rage your soul. What are you doing? Oh! What are you doing? Oh! But the point I'm trying to make is that these are the best players in the world. These guys are fucking amazing. I adore them all, right? These are horrible choices to have. These are horrible choices to have. You know what I'm saying? These are horrible fucking choices. I think this, to me, summarizes why I really do not like in its current state. Because you are constantly forced to make horrible choices. And if you are wrong, oh my. And again, what makes an S-tier character an S-tier character? An S-tier character is a character who can force you to have to make horrible choices. Wasn't this for? It was for half a milli. For half a milli. You think you're mad and you're wrong dealing with this shit. You're on stage, you're in Saudi. Half a milli. Forget about it. But this game is just full of them. This game is just full of just horrible choices. Where you just have bad options. And death awaits you if you're wrong. And there are some people I suppose who are like, I love that. I love the high stakes of it. I'm like, I don't, bro. I really don't. This fucking game was so exciting, right? Nah. Let's look. Let's start at the beginning, right? I'm gonna keep pausing, right? Nah. Okay. Jab. Whether the jab was hit or blocked, just like in Tekken, he was plus. They did basically tick throw. Jab and throw. The throw works. Cool. Okay. Okay. Bang. He does this mid kick. He's minus now. Leife is minus now. And he has to ask himself, okay, what am I going to do? But the wolf, even though the wolf is plus, he has to ask himself, okay, what do I think the Leife is going to do? Me, I'm thinking Leife is probably going to try and slice that. So I might go for a throw. Bang, goes for the throw. He doesn't slice that, but the throw catches him. Great, cool, because throw's track. Cool. Now we're in Oki, right? Oki is pretty quick in this game. If I back up, went for the, look at this. What just happened? Choices were made, bro. Choices were fucking made, bro. Okay. I went for the low wake up kick. Bang. It was me. It goes for the low wake up kick. it gets blocked. So I'm -8 or something, right? He knows, okay, Wolf's probably, he knows his +8 is probably gonna try and grab me. So hold this. Strike speed throws. Just send it. Pop kick, we're done. I don't care that I'm -8. We're out here. Right? Again, you can do that in Tekken, to be fair. That's not nothing new. Right? To the combo. Okay, cool. Bang. And okay, he didn't tech. I didn't think you tech. I did the big punch. Okay, now we're back in neutral. All right, cool. Half circular move, right? Half circular, catches him. He blocks it, so now he's minus. What's Lei Fei gonna do? Because now he's minus. He went for the dig dab, trying to steal his turn back, right? Okay, cool. Now he whiffed, so I don't know who's, I think they're neutral here, right? Half circular, that was probably a punish. Half circular, bang, he's not out the ring though. Okay, okay. Half circular again. Okay, now it's Lei Fei's turn. Lei Fei's gonna box step. What is a box step? A back dash and a side step, right? Very AOP. Bad, right? Ooh, you missed. Now I have your side. What am I gonna do? Right? Side turn kick, so I'm gonna be hella plus here. Half circular again, expecting the side step. It doesn't come. He's trying to knock him out, bro. Right? Okay. So he doesn't come. He blocks it. So now Lei Fei is minus. Again, in VF, you're constantly passing your turn back. None of this plus. If this was Tekken, it'd be like fucking plus, Dragon Age, running 2, blah. No, he's minus. He had his turn. He was wrong. He blocks the mid. Now Wolf gets to make a call. But Lei Fei also gets to make a call as to what he thinks Wolf's call is going to be. Let's see what he's going to do. Again, he goes for a dick jab, right? To steal his turn back. He's like, no, I'm not moving. I'm doing a dick jab, right? A dick jab will be a lot of things, right? Okay, cool. Counter hit. I forget the name of this move. Swipe the credit card, right? Hits his legs. He's on the edge of the fucking ring. It's not looking good for our hero, okay? Yeah. This, great example. So let's examine that. A lot just happened here. Do it again. Okay, hold on. The low. Okay, so as we've already discussed, okay, the lows in Virtua Fighter are typically minus on hit. Because again, Virtua Fighter treats lows kind of dirty. Like, okay, you got the low, you got the damage, that's your reward. Why should you also get plus rank? Why should you also get plus rank? You did the low, right? And this is off counter hit, right? So, what is Lei Fei gonna do here? Because he's minus, Lei Fei is thinking, okay, I think Wolf is going to try and dick jab. He's desperate. He's going to punch. He's going desperate. So now Lei Fei does Doku stance, right? Doku stance parries all punches, whether it's high, mid, or low. Parries punches, right? So he's expecting the punch. He goes into Doku stance, but he's wrong. He doesn't get Doku stance. The soul comes out. Bang. Shining Wizard. Now we're back in the game. Now he's back in the ring. Okay, cool. He went for the throw again. Lei Fei was under it. Now Lei Fei goes for his throw. He breaks it. Typically, when you break a throw, when you successfully break a throw, you're now plus, right? So now it's Wolf's turn. Okay, what's Wolf gonna do? What does Lei Fei think Wolf's gonna do? He stands there, doesn't do anything. The throw comes, he breaks the throw, right? Three-way guess, he gets right. Okay, cool. So now it's Lei Fei's turn. What's Lei Fei do? Lei Fei does 6P into stance, right? So now we looked at that move just a second ago. So now he's plus into his side. It's probably still plus. Okay, hop kick to get over low. Now I think it's Lei Fei's turn. Yeah, it's Lei Fei's turn. He expects Wolf to step, so he goes for a full circular. It's high, so it'd been risky. If he crouched, he'd be fucked. But again, you're always making guesses. He does a circular to try and catch a step. It doesn't come. Now Lei Fei is minus, but in his back turn stance, in Coco stance, Lei Fei has a bunch of parries. He has a parry that can crush all lows, punches and kicks, all moves that are low, and another that can do punches and kicks that are mid or high. So even though Lei Fei is minus here, Wolf would take a huge risk if he swings. All right. So what does Wolf do? He does nothing. Lei Fei returns. So now they're in neutral again. All right. Okay. Step. He managed to dodge it. Okay. He successfully stepped it. So now Lei Fei is plus. What's he gonna do? Goes for the throw. Breaks the throw. Now Wolf is plus. Right. Okay. Whips the throw. Now I guess Lei Fei is plus, but he didn't recognize it in time. The chop comes. I'm pretty sure Lei Fei is plus. I think. Okay, they move neutral. Toe show. Forward punch. Lei Fei is +5 here. Oh, sorry, -5 here. So it's Wolf's turn. What's Wolf gonna do? Wolf fakes a kick. So now they're both neutral. Like, because he kind of used his frame to I don't know why he did actually. I think a fake kick still gets him through throws. I guess that's high level tech. That's above my level, right? Okay, the mid kick blocked. Now it's Lei Fei's turn. What is Lei Fei gonna do? What does Wolf think Lei Fei is gonna do? Right? Goes for the back throw. That was it. Again, this was a short segment, but they were both making a bunch of interesting choices. Really. And to the untrained eye, you might not see it. Watch it again. Nah. Shining. Neck breaker. Ah, yo, I like this guy. Yo, I like this guy. I like this guy. This guy's an asshole. Again, a lot of small decisions. And again, in all of those situations where I'm like, oh, it's Lei's turn, it's Wolf's turn, make no mistake, the other guy also had options that would blow the attacker up if the defender makes the right call, right? So they're both in danger at all times, whether attacking or defending.